Forget about the headlines. Trust what you see and trust what you hear. Information, okay? Decoding what's going on in the economy and all the media and all the things that you're hearing, okay? How do you really decipher what's true and what's not? Are they just selling you a bunch of information to try to get you to think a certain way? Now, let's really understand how you decode the information, how you really understand the economy, okay? The first thing is, if you just pay attention and listen, not to the news or to media, but actually pay attention to what's going on around you. Because what goes on around you is an indication of what's happening in day-to-day lives in your community. Take a walk. How many for sale signs are going up? When you go into the mall, are businesses shut down? If you're driving down the street or you're going somewhere, are there a lot of for lease signs on all these business buildings? Just drive around and pay attention, because all those things that you're going to see are indication of what is happening in your community, what's going on in the local economy. Because if it's going on in the local economy, a lot of times it's actually stretching throughout the state, or it's actually stretching throughout the entire country. Okay, so those are things that you want to pay attention to. The second thing, and this is where listen. So the first one, what you see. Second one is, what do you hear? When you're talking to your friends, your neighbors, people that you communicate with, hey, how are you doing? How's everything going on? How's work going? You know, simple conversations. I guarantee you they're going to share. Is their industry struggling? Are they having layoffs? Are sales down? Where's the market in that particular industry? Because a lot of the things that go on is if there's an industry that's suffering, whether it be housing or the car market or sales in department stores, you know, things like that, that means purchasing power has shrunk, or people don't have enough money to spend because other things are going on in their lives. Maybe there's layoffs. Maybe some say, oh yeah, there's a bunch of layoffs at my company. Well, what industry are they in? We already know there was a ton of tech layoffs. So pay attention, listen. So watch what's going on, hear what's going on, and then pay attention to some of the other things that you may not be aware of. What's going on in crypto? What's going on in the precious metals? Why do you even care? Well, let me explain. Crypto was created after 2008. It was a hedge against the dollar. Metals is a hedge against inflation. So you may not own it, but it does have a direct link to the global economy. And the last thing is, what's going on in the world? If you see a lot of wars or things going on in other countries, it's going to affect the US because we're a global economy. So really, you don't even have to watch the news or hear somebody tell you what's going on. All you got to do is pay attention to what's going on around you. That's how you decipher the economy. And then what is happening at home? How are you guys handling things? But these are the things that I want everybody to learn, because this is the education. Part of it starts with just paying attention. See what's going on, hear what's going on, take a look at things that you're not familiar with, but what's happening, okay? If you do choose to read, you know, Market Watch, or which is stocks, bonds, you know, those types of news components, don't worry about the headlines. Read the whole, in the whole article, go to the last two paragraphs, because that's usually what's happening. So I want to leave you with that. Information is a very important component of when it comes to the economy. You hear somebody say something, a politician say something, and all of a sudden the markets go up or the markets go down. Really? What about the actual fundamentals of those markets. What's going on in those corporations, those businesses? What's going on globally? Can't be based on something what somebody says. So anyway, pay attention.